Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin, after my last video, made a decision to break through support, which is great because it basically invalidated this very suspicious looking diagonal that we were tracking. And to be honest, this move to the downside clarifies the chart, especially on the ETH chart as well. And especially as we have been waiting for a lot of pullbacks on several altcoin charts as well. Especially some good setups that I've shared recently. For example, the Atom chart, and we cover quite a few others in the membership. One of them being, for example, the Cake token. However, Bitcoin, I was quite not annoyed, but I didn't really trust a wave 4 completion here. So we might eventually see this C wave touch the support area, not guaranteed, because with a high B wave, there is a certain target area for a C wave that we need to look out for. So let me explain what we're looking for. Still, overall, nothing has changed. There is an unjustified, do you say unjustified? I think so. There's at least the panic that we've seen today. There isn't much panic, but there's a bit of panic. So it's not justified at all in the market, given that my support area hasn't changed at all. So the support is still at around about 34,100. And we have to give it that breathing space. We've been talking about nothing else for the last 3 weeks, that Bitcoin could, in this wave 4, still come down all the way to 34K, even though I don't see it come down that low. Absolutely not. Okay, I have a very hard time to see it come down to 34K, but maybe 36.3, maybe 39.3K, which is the 23.6 FIB level. Maybe not even that. So we talk about that in this video, but the idea was that we have a 5-wave pattern and that we get one more high to 50K would still be my preferred option. If that means wave 4 has bottomed already, which it didn't, which I didn't trust anyway, and we go straight away, but it would only be possible in a very weird diagonal, or if Bitcoin forms a bit of a, an ABC flat structure in wave 4, which now clears a lot of things up, and we get then this high. That really doesn't matter. If we look at the bigger picture, short-term fluctuations, yes, I warned about that in my first post today on Telegram and Discord, that we have to expect a lot of volatility in the coming days due to the not FTX, that's the past, due to the ETF rumors. So that means be careful out there. Okay, so now let's take a look at the 1-hour chart, because this chart has clarified something now. It certainly invalidated an immediate diagonal pattern to the upside, and it has formed a nice C wave down. Now let's talk about the specifics of this. The idea is that this was an A wave down in wave 4, a complex B wave correction overshooting B wave, and now obviously this C wave. And then we need to ask a question, okay, where could the C wave go? So the support level is absolutely unchanged. So anybody who, for example, bought the dip or is buying the dip, I mean, that's a level you can use to obviously measure your risk, okay, against, and position yourself against. I started to buy the dip earlier today, which was also one of my New Year resolutions for this year, to add a little Bitcoin every week. That's just regardless of price anyway. Yeah, that's just something to build my and grow actually my Bitcoin basis. Just small positions, don't think that's like a something crazy. It's just literally small positions adding constantly from monthly cash flow. But that's just as a side note. Next question we need to ask, what is typically a target for a C wave? And as you will have learned from my videos, it's typically that we take the length of the A wave, then we go to the high of the B wave to calculate C wave targets. And typically what we say for a C wave is anything between the 100% extension and the 161.8 extension level. And in this case, that's the area between 41,374 and 38,795. That's at least an initial area to watch. Let me just shift that to the side. An initial area to watch, and the price already reacted to it. Now that means technically the C wave has fulfilled requirements. Okay, it has. However, I can only see 3 waves down at the moment. So ideally I'd prefer, this is quite high for a wave 4. but not invalid. So ideally, I'd prefer one more low in wave 5 of C, and that could be it. That could be it. So one more low would be ideal. That tells you a lot. It tells you that we don't need to come down much lower. Okay, it has basically, it's touched already the ideal target zone for a C wave. So that's also, and that's something also I need to mention, sometimes we don't get the last 4-5 pattern. And I would expect it to happen, but whenever Bitcoin has a flush like that, we've seen it before, sometimes that last 4-5 pattern just doesn't show. Okay, that's just something that happens because, well, it does show, but it might be hidden in the 5-minute chart somewhere and you cannot recognize it because it was basically a bit of a liquidity event here today. Yeah, we had a lot of funding rates were, let's say, quite extreme. So far, this is a 3-wave rally, so I would be looking for one more low. But you don't know what happened in this last week. It could be that we don't get this last low. That's just something that I have to mention because I think you should know. Not something that I can predict, do we get it or not. I would expect it to happen because, as I said, I always have to align myself with probabilities, which is also why I didn't trust the move to the upside. But essentially, we've seen it before that the last C wave visually only gives us 3 waves. Now, if you then call that instead of an ABC a WXY pattern, or it is an ABC and in the C wave we've got these waves hidden, that's something that's quite, well, you can't answer. It's unique to crypto that sometimes due to these volatility events, sometimes corrections finish without clear 5 waves. Okay, but basically the situation hasn't changed. I've given you some key levels to watch should Bitcoin make another low. If Bitcoin makes another low in wave 5 of C, this could literally be the last one. Technically speaking, I've started to buy the dip today, but there's no reason, in my opinion, to get aggressive in any long positions without having a clear 1-2 setup. So it's literally just, yes, catching the falling knife, but in a very systematic way with small positions, adding carefully, and then really, it's only reasonable, in my opinion, to get more aggressive in a long trade once we have a 1-2 setup, which we don't. So 40,200, 39,580 and 38,580 are basically the next levels to watch to the downside. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.